You guys are at Fort Cleave. The Iron Bull is there. All your the characters that you brought with you are there. And the dragon has appeared. It's cloaked itself in a storm cloud that it's almost like a tornado.
The storm cloud?
This storm cloud, along with lightning and thunder and rain, is also coming towards you.
So what you're saying is he has a cloak of storm?
Essentially, yes. Sham, your character Curtis, decided that you guys were going to stay and fight the dragon. So
I said I don't know if anyone else wanted to stay.
That is true. Does anybody else want to evacuate? Because the princess and Lorna and Gregor are loading up into the Iron Bull to head out and get to safety, just in case this thing actually does hit.
I do like the idea of being a coward.
I'm gonna roll for intimidation again.
On the dragon?
Yes.
No.
I'm kidding.
I'm telling you that will not work.
Can I pray for divine intervention? RNGesus would be probably a good one to pray to, honestly. Let's be real here.
Well, you have Basim Ra, you have RNGesus, you have Satan.
Satan! Everyone's greatest problem solver.
So who's going to leave with the princess and them, and who's going to try and stay at the fort?
1, 2, 3, I'm leaving.
Okay, so Kane's going to hop in with everybody else. Raka and Velnos.
Uhtred's just gonna stick around like a G.
Okay, he's going to stay. Velnos, you going to stay?
Of course I'm gonna stay.
Do I see my brother walking away?
On his skin.
Yes, you do see Kane loading up inside the Iron Bull.
I'm gonna grab him with my tongue and pull him to me.
Dexterity roll.
Uhtred's gonna lean over to Curtis. Your brother's a bitch.
All right, Kane, are you going to try and resist this, or are you just going to let him grab you?
Oh, I'm trying to resist the shit out of this.
Okay, you're going to have to beat a 15 with a strength check to break free. If not, he's going to pull you off.
Fuck.
Yep, nope. He grabs you with his tongue and yanks you right off the back of the Iron Bull, so you're right back down. And Sham, you can keep your tongue wrapped around him as a restraining device if you like.
I'm going to do that.
So the other thing is, now that you guys have kind of decided this, so they're opening the gates so the Iron Bull can leave with the others. And as this is happening, the captain is up on the upper wall with some of the archers, and he's going to say a couple of things to the men before the battle begins. And to everybody in this area, everybody who stayed, thank you all. We will fight to the last man to preserve this fort and protect this land. Now to battle, gentlemen. And as soon as he says that, a lightning bolt immediately shoots from the sky and fries his ass, killing him instantly. He falls from the top of the wall and dies.
You see, this is why I wanted to fucking leave.
Can I hop on the podium and continue the speech for him?
Yes, you can if you wish.
Can I loot his body?
Maybe not in front of the men.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody.
Also, you're tied up right now, so no.
Yeah, that's right. I have you.
I'm gonna roll just raw charisma.
Oh. Okay. So you go up there and you make one of the most impassioned speeches any of these men have ever heard. You are clad in your forest armor. And at the last part of it, you raise your hand into the sky and your spear shoots out from your arm and into your hand as you push it up towards the heavens. And the very last thing that you do is when a lightning bolt comes down to strike you dead, you bat it away using your magic spear, and every single person in that place has an erection. After all that, everybody at the base is ready to defend everything, and the storm cloud is now starting to get into range for ranged weaponry, so you guys can fire at it if you want to. The other thing is, I will say, Arch's character also stayed behind, and he is charging up his super attack with the steel rod that falls from the sky.
I want to do a search check. I want to see if there's any like ballistas or anything around.
Okay, cool. You can do a search check.
36.
I saw that. So yes, there are several ballistas that are along the wall that you can fire, and there is also a single catapult that they have rolled out into the courtyard that is also going to be fired.
I'm gonna man a ballista.
Okay, you can man the ballista. The ballista does 4d10 damage with its ranged weaponry. So anybody else, if you want to get up on the wall and use range attacks, you have the ability to do that now. Velno, since it is a new day, you can use your gun as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for it to get closer, like real close. I want to make sure I don't miss.
Anybody who's going to fire a ranged attack now can roll to fire. Okay, well, I mean, you're aiming at a massive cloud, so I'll say that hits because it's kind of hard to miss it. you hit the cloud, but the problem is that you don't see anything after it goes into the cloud. You don't hear anything either. All you hear is the wind and the thunder that is going on in the atmosphere. The other thing that you're going to notice is that the wind is starting to pick up as it's getting closer. So that might also be affecting trajectories. So you did hit the cloud, but you didn't hit the dragon.
All right.
So anybody else going to use ranged attacks? Cham just used his. That goes for Velnos and Raka.
Like I said, I'm gonna wait.
Not at the moment, because I only got a couple rounds.
Arch is still charging his fuck you attack ability, but he will let that loose after the next turn. Now it's going to continue to get closer. Lightning starts striking in areas around the fort. There are several archers that are struck down by lightning strikes. That's its full turn, is basically movement and a couple of those little lightning strikes that took out some of the exterior guards. So now it's closer, and you guys can fire again.
I'm going to jump down. I'm going to go put myself in the catapult.
You're going to put yourself in the catapult. Okay. You can go and do that. The catapult is cocked back. So the two guards do as you ask, and they remove the rock from the catapult so you can climb into it.
So I'm going to talk to Ariel.
To the edge of the cup.
I'm going to speak to her, but I'm not going to tell you guys what it is yet.
So that's your turn. So now that they're closer, so Velnos, the cloud is closer to you now. Do you want to use your weapon now?
I want to be sure. I'm gonna keep waiting.
So, Raka, are you going to do anything now that it's getting even closer?
I'm gonna go ahead and prepare my fire cannon.
You can use that turn for that action. So you guys prepare for that. So now it's going to rotate another turn. More lightning strikes happen as the dragon continues to get closer, and it's almost on top of you at this point. The archers have been firing into the cloud nonstop with fire arrows, but you really don't see too much of an effect. So, Cham, are you going to launch yourself?
I'm launching.
You take the Darksaber and you cut the rope that is holding the catapult still. Since you're firing yourself, basically, I'm going to have you roll for the catapult aim.
What's the percentage based of he dying right now? I feel like there's a pretty high chance that he could die.
That's an 18. That's accurate. So, Cham, your character is launched through the air, and you are flying right now. You are flying through the air like a little frog bullet directly at a tornado. I don't know how well this is going to end for you. So you're flying that way. So at the same time, Velnos, are you going to use your cannon?
I'm gonna shoot the scorpion beam up.
You're going to shoot your scorpion vines into the cloud. All right, so that's going to be 2 attack rolls. 17, 19. Oh, okay, you got a 19 for the second one. All right, so I'm going to say because of the size of the cloud, both of those vines go into the cloud. However, after a second, you realize that you can't pull them back, and that's not good. I'm going to give you a reflex save to see if you can cut these in time before you get sucked in.
What if I want to get sucked in and then use my reflex to
swing yourself around?
Yup.
All right, then if you're going to try and do that, then what's going to happen is you won't have to roll a reflex. You're going to get pulled into it because you want to. So then the only other one I'm going to go to is Raka. So Raka, you're going to fire your flame thing now?
That is correct.
All right, that is enough. That is plenty. That's a 29. So you fire it into the cloud. And again, you don't see anything from the inside. The embers and stuff from your cannon shoot into the cloud, and then you can't really see what happens after that because of the fog. Now, we're going to go to Cham and Velnos, because you guys are essentially entering the cloud at just about the same time. As you both fly through the air and you get into the epicenter of the cloud, you can see the dragon shifting around inside the cloud. But the thing is that the winds for it are starting to carry you in, but the dragon can control that because the cloud is part of its own magical essence. So as soon as you go in the middle, it immediately shoots you out the other side. Velnos, do you want to try and make a reflex save to see if you can get vines in?
Yes.
I was going to do a reflex save and use my grapple hook.
Okay, you can try that.
Not bad.
I'm going to roll for the dragon in terms of the magicalness of the fog, and it does get a +5 to this. That's a 24. So Velnos, it shoots you right out the back of the tornado. So you fly directly through it. And as you are going out the back, I'm going to give you a chance to use your armor with a reflex save to try and make sure you don't hit the ground at full speed. All right, 25. All right, I'm going to say that's good enough. So you can decide how you want to handle that.
Could I possibly use the armor to stabilize my speed and then try to shoot it in midair before I go hit the ground, I suppose?
If you want to sacrifice your roll for stopping your momentum, you can fire the gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
22. Okay, so you fire your cannon, and it goes into the cloud. Now, Cham, before I get to what happens to Velnos after he fires this, I'm going to go inside the cloud to you, because you're going to see what's going to happen next. So you did use your grappling hook to grapple onto the golden dragon.
Yep.
Now, what is going to happen is the golden dragon sees what's coming. It's going to try and move you in front of that. And I'm going to roll for that to see if it has the ability to. You can roll to see if you have a reflex action to get out of the way. All right, and it gets a plus 10 to that, so that's 21. 27, okay. So you are able to get out of the way before Velnos' blast hits the cloud. However, as soon as that happens, the blast passes through the cloud, missing the dragon, and fires out the other side.
I was going to use my momentum to push my way further, faster away from the bullet and still keep in contact with the dragon.
If you want to do it that way, you'll do it that way. So you're going to stay attached, but you're able to move yourself out of the way of the blast. Raka, because you're still at the base, all you see is a massive thing of light shoot out of the side of the tornado and then off into the distance, going out for what you can only assume would be space. So now the dragon is kind of pissed, but Cham, I'm going to let you do one more thing if you want before I go to the dragon.
I was going to swing myself onto its back.
I would say use rope, since you're swinging with a rope. Oh, okay. I'm going to roll a strength check for the dragon. He does get a plus 10 to that. Okay, yeah. He grabs the rope that is attached to the grappling hook and unlatches it and very quickly flings you off. Now you go back out through the tornado. You're going to get a chance to roll to try and stop yourself. Velnos, at the same time, we're going to go back to you because you're about to hit the ground. You just fired your weapon, so you're going to take the full impact. So at the speed you're going at, I'm going to say you're going to take 4 d10s of damage. All right, so Velnos, you're going to take 33 damage from the impact.
Well, that's the reflex to call aerial.
As you are flying through the air, you put 2 froggy fingers in your mouth and whistle, and your little purple dragon comes alongside you. Just do a dexterity check for me to grab onto her, and you're all set. All right, I'm going to roll for her with a dexterity check. She gets a plus 2 to see if she can grab onto you. All right, so she rolled a 16, you rolled a 13. I'm going to say that's enough. So she's able to grab onto one of your legs as you're able to kind of grab onto the back mane of her neck, and finally you're able to get yourself on.
I want to stay in the air.
So you're on aerial, you're going to stay in the air. Velnos, you were on the ground in a heap, and that hurt. Before we get to the dragon, the other thing is Arch is still preparing his super attack.
Yep.
So he is still in there, and at this point, everybody else has kind of almost bit the dust. So he's going to force that down. Now, you see the sky open up as he lifts his hands to the heavens, and you see the heavenly metal spear that killed the previous dragon shoot down from above. You see it pass all the way through the tornado and through the other side, and you watch the spear, because you can see it's so long that it actually goes through the entire thing, so you can actually see the spear as opposed to the other things you've been doing, which kind of either pass through or you lose sight of halfway. As that happens, you see the cloud continue to move forward, and after a second, it passes from the area where the spear is to show that it is clean. It has not hit its target. The dragon is now going to unleash its abilities on the fort, which means Raka and Arch are going to kind of be in the way, although Arch, since he's launched his attack, is going to be able to move around into cover. Raka, are you going to take cover, or are you just going to face this thing as it unleashes a lightning barrage?
Well, fucking G, bro. I'm going to stand at it. I got the Basum Ra by my side, sirs.
You hear somewhere on top, "Fake Diddy."
Just a whisper in the wind. The dragon finally pokes its head out of the storm cloud, and you see yellow lightning erupting from its nostrils, its eyes, its mouth. And finally, it opens its jaw and unleashes a yellow beam of energy down at the fort. Now, this beam of energy is an AoE attack. It has a 150-foot radius, and it does 40 d10s worth of damage. Syra has taken cover, so she will take half damage. And Raka, you're just going to take the brunt of 40 d10s?
Yeah. So, in efforts of not having to go read through all my abilities, I'm just going to go for cover.
Okay, so you're going to huddle in the same place as Arch. So since you're both in the same area, so the base is essentially leveled. I'm going to roll the 40 d10. So that's 234 damage. Because Kane and Arch and Raka were all huddling in the same place and trying to stay hidden, they are only going to take a quarter of that. So that is divided down to
58, about 58 damage, 59 damage.
Yep, about 58, 59 damage. The other thing is that the blast has now buried you under debris from the fort. The fort is decimated. It is blown to pieces. It was a log fort, and basically the walls are exploded. Everything is level. And as soon as that happens, the dragon then reverts its head back inside the cloud and continues to move as if nothing has happened.
Was I in the vicinity of the fort?
No, you were on the opposite side of the dragon because you got launched through the cloud.
Yep.
Yeah, because otherwise I would have died.
And again, the cloud now is not paying any attention to Cham or Velnos or anybody over there. It's just continuing.
I'm going to launch myself off the dragon.
And do what?
I'm jumping onto the other dragon.
Okay, so you're going to have to enter the tornado in order to do that. So I'm going to have you do a ride check on Ariel to get there. All right, so you try to fly into the tornado, and unfortunately, the winds are just too much for your little dragon, and she is blown off course.
Am I able to use a reflex to, right when Ariel is being blown away, I jump off of her?
I'm going to have you roll a jump check to see if you can get as far into that cloud as possible before that happens.
My specialty.
All right, that's 38. You make it into the cloud. However, Ariel is still blown away by the wind. She is going to hit a tree and take 2d10 damage. That is 16. So she's not doing good. It looks like she may have hurt one of her wings. So if you fall again, she's not going to be able to get you. So you're inside the tornado now. You can use your grappling hook or maybe your tongue if you want to try and latch on the dragon.
I'm gonna launch my tongue into the fucking with the dagger into the back.
Roll dexterity then for your tongue to do that.
Ooh.
Okay, that's enough. So you launch your tongue and your dagger sticks into the back of the dragon. Now, you can roll for damage for that. All right, that's 18 damage. So again, it hurts a little bit, but he's not really all that fazed by it. But it does now realize that there's something on the back of its neck, and it's going to reach its hand up to try and brush you away. You can roll a reflex check. He is going to roll a dexterity check, and the dragon actually has a decent amount of dexterity. He has a +5.
Shit.
So it reaches its hand up, but you're able to scurry out of the way, so you're still on the back of the dragon. What are you going to do?
As I'm going up to the neck, I'm just going to start slashing on my way up.
Roll for damage, because I'm not going to make you attack. You're literally lying on the thing. All right, so that is 48 damage in total. Yep. So that's enough to make him really notice you. He's kind of had it with you. So as you're sitting on his back, you start to see electricity arcing off of his skin, which is not a good sign. I'm going to give you a reflex save to see if you can leap off of him in time before you get shocked. All right, I'm going to roll for his attack roll to see if he can get you. He has a +7 to attack. So that would have been a 20, so he does not make that in time. So you leap off of him as he does his little electrical jolt from his skin. Are you going to do anything? Are you going to try and latch back on?
I'm going to latch back on.
Roll dexterity.
Extendo blade.
+9, so it wouldn't be a 9, it would instead be a 13. You still miss. Okay. So he basically kind of turns around as you're trying to get back onto him, and his dragon claw comes down to backhand you out. Now, I'm going to roll for attack. Because you're in midair, there's really no way for you to do a reflex save. And again, he has a +10, so it's a 17. Okay, so he doesn't hit you, he whiffs, but you are falling towards the ground. All right.
Oh, I'm just going to use Featherfall.
You can use that, so that means you're just very light and you're just going to float right down?
Yeah, I'm just floating straight down.
So you're going to do that. So while you're doing that, I'm going to go back to some of the other guys that are still kind of wasted on the battlefield. So yeah. Velnos, you've recovered enough to stand at this point. You've kind of shaken off your little impact. And Raka, you're still buried under rubble with Arch and Kane.
Where's the dragon heading to now?
The dragon has gone through the fort, and they look like they're heading deeper into Calgar. The other thing is you don't see Curtis around anywhere, and you notice that the fort is now just a pile of rubble.
Fuck. Oh, fuck it. I'm gonna look for survivors since the dragon isn't paying attention to the fort.
You run up to the fort area. Velnos, what I'm going to do for you is, if you're going to search for survivors, I want you to do a search check. Ooh, 19. All right, 28. You look around and you see some motion coming from some rubble. It's sort of moving around and shifting. You quickly go over and use your vines to pull away the logs and the wood and whatever debris is left from the fort away, and you find Kane, Arch, and Raka all there, beaten up but still alive. It doesn't appear that there are any other survivors.
I'm gonna ask them what the hell just happened, because I wasn't there, and I hit some pile of rubbish or whatever, and then the fort's just gone.
They explained to you that the dragon used its lightning ability and blew up the base. It then proceeded to just move right on through.
And it might be moving to the capital.
And no, it was not. The capital was the direction that the Iron Bull went off in. It looks like the dragon went deeper into what would have been the old empire. Cham, I'm going to go back to you now since they're all kind of regrouped. You floated to the ground. You're still inside the tornado. So the dragon is now just proceeding to, again, just move on because it thinks it electrocuted you. So what are you going to do with that?
How high is he?
I mean, you can leap back up to him, but again, he's just sort of hovering along. He's not really paying you any mind.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. If I'm able to jump, I'll jump.
Okay, roll a jump check. That's more than enough. All right, so you're able to leap back up onto him. Again, he's not really noticing you because you're so small.
While I'm up there, I'm going to use greater invisibility then.
So you are invisible. If he were to turn around, he would not see you.
All right, you know, I'm going to go on top of his head.
He doesn't really know that you're there, so I'm not. It's kind of just like running up a road sort of thing. So I'm just going to say you can get to his head. So you are on his head.
Will this be an attack of opportunity?
Yes, I would say it would be. Okay, so that's 84 damage. All right, so you're going to do 84 damage with your Darksaber to the top of his head. So he's definitely going to notice that, and it definitely hurts like a motherfucker. So now you've pissed him off. You see that electricity on his body start to kick up again. I'll allow you to do another reflex save. Because he did such a massive charge up, but you did pass the reflex save, you're only going to take half damage. He's going to do 20 d10s worth of damage because he's releasing basically a thunder wave. So that's going to do 62 damage to you. What's your health?
82.
So it does 62 damage to you, and it also is going to hurt like a motherfucker. And the other thing is, it's electricity. So I want you to roll a Constitution save to see if you don't get paralyzed. So that's an 8. So no, the electricity affects your muscles, and your body immediately goes limp. You fall off the back of the dragon, but just as you're about to hit the ground, your dragon Ariel comes in and kind of cushions your fall, so to speak. She's going to take 1d6 damage. It's not going to kill her, but you're also not going to take the full brunt. You're only going to take 1d10. So she took an additional 4. You took an additional 5. So you are alive, but you're paralyzed for the moment. And so your dragon is down, and the big dragon is now moving further. Now that Cham's like that, we're going to go back to Velnos and the others. You can kind of see the storm cloud in the very, very far distance and the swath of destruction that it's left behind. So you have a way to follow it.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and follow it.
So, Raka, you follow the trail of destruction until you eventually come upon Cham collapsed on the ground along with his dragon that is under his arm. And they both look like they've been hurt.
Poor little frog. I'm going to go ahead and cast Lay on Hands. 14 times 11.
Okay, you heal him to full health.
Sweet.
You'll be able to return both of them to full health, so you're able to heal both of them. But the dragon has now gone out of sight. Again, it's left the trail of destruction, but it might be best to retreat and come up with a more cohesive plan.
Before he stands up, Uhtred is going to lean down and whisper into his little froggy hole of an ear and say, "The Basum Ra protects all his children."
I'm going to whisper back, "Ribbit."
Feels good, doesn't it? You feel good? You feel good?
I'm just going to flip him off. I'm going to flip him off.
Remember who did that for you.
It's nice to see you're both alive and breathing. It's just continuing to go on a swath of destruction. But if you hurry, you can probably catch up to the Iron Bull and maybe make it back. then are you guys going to go back and regroup with the others at what's left of the fort?
Yeah.
Uhtred's read a history book. He doesn't invade Russia in the winter. He's going back with the rest of the group.
So you guys return to the fort and meet up with Velnos and Kane and Arch. And Arch, since he is a very, very smart person, he left his little spider hand inside of the Iron Bull. So he just kind of looks at all of you and says, all right, time to teleport. Ta-ta! And then grabs all of you and teleports you back inside the Iron Bull, whether you're worse for wear or not. Every single other person in there is also freaks the fuck out at this because nobody knew this was happening. Sergeant Lorax comes up and takes a look at you. You're no worse for wear, kid. Good luck.